All right, Aiton, let's get to it. I'm really happy to have Alexandra on the show today. We're going to be talking about retail and the impact of the current situation and what the future might look like. What I like about Alex is, she's a consultant and she helps people get to the cloud, get to digital, and she's going to talk to us directly about what she's hearing from her customers and their concerns and how they're pivoting their business.
And it's a hot topic right now. The economy is reopening here in Canada very slowly. I think by beginning to mid-July, we expect things to return to normal, and we're going to see what normal means. In the meantime, we're seeing a lot of movement within the e-commerce and retail industry. We're also seeing a lot of B2B companies that are going for a digital transformation and seeing if they can become B2C. So we're going to be talking about all of that and more this episode, and I'm very excited to bring that value to you guys. And like you said, John, Alexa is the best guest to have on board for that as our Canadian business development executive.
Welcome to Guru's Cloud Connect, your one-stop tech talk where we discover the best business tools with the experts behind them. Filmed on set in a live setting with our gurus in Montreal. Guru Solutions is North America's largest Oracle NetSuite ERP services provider. Visit their website at gurusolutions.com with your hosts Ethan Bozoglu and John Serino.
Alexandra, welcome to the show. We're really happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here with you guys.
I know that you're hearing from customers all the time. You're hearing from people within retail. What are some of the things that they're asking about? How are they pivoting their business to bring their products online?
They want to understand how they're going to be able to do the reconciliation between all these new revenue streams. So it's our role to understand how they build it, and then we're able to do the configuration of a new module to do the reconciliation of their different revenue streams, or to bring our team of our integration team to do the work between the two platforms.
They have to reconcile all of these different marketplaces with their main inventory line, their finances. I had X amount of returns here. I had 25 purchases of this color of t-shirt here. And that becomes difficult.
A lot of our clients open an e-commerce during this COVID crisis, and now they need to reconcile all this inventory spread, yes, in their brick and mortar store, but in their web inventory, if I may say it that way, to have a better understanding of where is the inventory and what's going on with the replenishment, by example. So that's question that people have in mind, and this is how we definitely help our client with.
Until we get to that picture perfect situation, what do you think for the customers who are currently rushing to get into e-commerce? With the economy opening around the corner, what do you think it'll look like?
It makes me think about the offer of restaurants right now. A lot of them are offering their menu on Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes, and they will need to adapt as well because now they reached out to a way bigger population of people. So I think that the other way, retailers will need to adapt their offer as well, because they will have reached out a lot of new clients through this difficult situation, and they will still have their, I don't want to say normal, but they will still have their typical client who will still go in the store, will come back 2, 3, 4 times before doing this famous purchase.
The one thing that I think might not be addressed through e-commerce is that instant gratification we get from picking up a product, from seeing a product and wanting it home immediately, right?
The customer service will change a lot. I think for a lot of companies, it's going to be way much different. It's going to become a very centric part of their offer. People will go back because they got this good quality service when they decide to buy.
If I want to buy a guitar, it's not just about understanding the brand or even playing it to understand whether it's right for me, but also I like to speak to a sales rep. I like to I mean, when I speak to a sales rep and I'm picking their brain, it's getting a lot of information and a lot of experience all at once, as opposed to having to dig around and do my own information and read reviews, which is part of the e-commerce model.
There's an underestimated aspect of e-commerce, or even a hybrid retail e-commerce model, that's data collection. I mean, stuff like newsletters, stuff like retargeting. You don't necessarily get that when you walk into a physical store, but if you have a hybrid model, you're able to get all this insight and sort of keep on marketing your brand and your products as you expand your inventory to a diverse amount of people that come to you online. And you don't necessarily get that same kind of recurring interaction with them in a physical store. You're sort of dependent on whether or not the one day decide to come back because you really enjoyed the experience. You're sort of dependent on that single experience versus an easily recurring experience.
I think that there's always going to be room for the mom and pop shop. In fact, I think we crave the mom and pop shop, only because they usually offer a unique product that you can't find anywhere else.
Alexa, you work with a lot of retailers and some innovative e-commerce businesses. How are these sort of planning to make up for the economic shutdown right now?
It makes me think of one of a precise case where the client decided to present their product on Amazon and their own e-commerce platform. They are very well settled in their own environment, if I may say that way. But now they decide to go on Amazon to reach out to more people and to present their product on a new angle, if I may say it that way. This way they make sure that they address more consumer, and they're reaching out to more people. So at the end, they're going to make more sales, and because they are more flexible, well, they're just surfing on this weird wave that they're living right now.
What would you recommend for those guys right now that are trying to get their products online and start selling as soon as possible to get their revenue going? Whether they should start their own online store and start building up their brand, or if they have a unique product, is it more advantageous for them to use a platform like, say, Shopify to start selling on a marketplace like Amazon and Walmart and start distributing there and worry about their brand later on down the line?
I think the quickest way to do it is to look at your offer and understand what is the complexity of it. If your product is very complex, needs a lot of partner to do the assembly and to manage the inventory and to then ship it to your customer, maybe you need to step back and rethink how you could do things better. And then you need to look at your finance structure, right? If it's not solid, if there's lack of organization in how the finance are structured, well, it's going to be very problematic when it's going to be time to do the integration between your e-commerce and your financial platform. So at that point, when these two key elements are well prepared, well structured, I think the success resides in how you're going to do things, and this is where I think we help our clients.
If you're going to go online as a new business, especially if you have a new product or you're innovating products, what you want to do is really be careful and make sure that you have a proper financial foundation before you take it online and start using different marketplaces.
If you are, feeling the sense of urgency to go live, my biggest recommendation would be work with a consultant who has that experience. Look for that. As I was saying earlier, I like to tap the minds of the sales rep, because I like all this experience and knowledge at your fingertips all at once. Do work with a consultant. Do reach out to somebody. Do make sure that you get the experience you need and do it right.
Can you talk a little bit about the food industry? I know we mentioned restaurants earlier, and I also know that a lot of B2B wholesale food distributors who were delivering portions of, whether it's seashells or meat bread to restaurants, for example, or to the entertainment industry, whether it be football stadiums or hockey stadiums, they're starting to rethink their model, and they're trying to go to B2C and see if maybe they can find another channel for the distribution and to sort of, dispatch their inventory and keep their revenue going.
At the end, yes, they are tackling a new revenue stream, B2B versus B2C, and they need to be aware that the secret sauce they use for the B2B, well, it's going to be quite different for the B2C. And when you can handle your finance on a platform who is very flexible, it's going to be an easy game to play. But the other side of the story is that if you don't have this flexibility, this is where it can be dangerous, and this is where you can regret your decision. So at the end, again, a strong financial foundation will be key to these companies who are game to try this new avenue.
Can you talk a little bit more about what that flexibility means exactly and how they can go about achieving that?
When we're referring to flexibility, is simply because you can add a module, or you could add a simple app who will give you better control over your inventory, over your cash flow. It will help you to have better relationship with the new vendors that you're doing business with. It can be simple as optimizing the usage of your CRM, because you need to tackle a new market, so you need to have a new strategy around it. So when we're talking about a flexible solution, it's all these little pieces who makes them more strong.
And when people think we're going to go e-commerce, they assume moving into an e-commerce platform like Amazon, Shopify, or even building out your own web store is the end of the road. When in fact, you do need a series of other tools like a strong ERP, a good CRM, something that stable financial foundation.
When you're on a cloud system, well, you will refer to a platform with single source of truth. And in the case where you're building a new revenue stream, a new market, it's important for your company to overlook all these new aspects and to take the right decision at the right moment. If you're doing all this in separate system, well, it can be pretty damaging to your business at the end.
We are lucky to have had you as our guest today. We really appreciate you bringing your knowledge to the table in the conversation.
Great having you on board.
It was a real pleasure to discuss with you.
Thank you. And likewise, and I hope we can do it again soon. If you want to reach out to Alex or anyone at Gurus, we will post links below this video, and by that same token, we'll post links that provide more information on the retail industry and going to e-commerce.
Thanks for joining us today, guys. Make sure to leave comments below and stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to keep on topic of retail and e-commerce. We actually have special guests from the Tivano team. So looking forward to bringing that to you guys.